good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously, conscientiously to Ion Las Vegas, where you're going to meet some of the most interesting, upbeat, electric, freedom-loving people in the world. And today is maybe the pinnacle. Okay, so before we begin, I want to tell people, as you know, my name is Barry Shore. I'm known as the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. The ambassador of joy. In this show, well, I'm able to speak to about 511,000 people on this show every week. And with my other podcast called The Joy of Living, another 500 plus thousand. So we speak to millions of people every week and every month. And when I'm talking to people, I mentioned that I live in Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas. Right away, people lean in, open up their eyes and ears and say, Las Vegas? Tell me more. Let me tell you something about Las Vegas, because it's gambling and sex, that's a tiny thing. It's about electricity, it's about entertainment, it's about freedom and possibility. Let me tell you this. If you take the entire population of the city of Los Angeles, and everybody around it, the entire population of New York City, everybody around it, the entire population of Chicago, and everybody around it, add in the entire population of the state of Florida, and it doesn't even equal the number of people that come to Las Vegas in a year. Over 41 million people come here. You know why? Because it's electric. It's happening. Everything is possible, and you're going to meet one of the most possible people in the world. Please say hello to fabulous Two Trees. Two Trees. Please say hello to 519,811 people around the world.
Good morning.
Well, wherever you are in the world, it could be a good morning, evening, afternoon, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to give you everybody a hint. Two Trees is his real name. Yes, he has one of these things called an English name and all that other stuff, because he is giving you a biblical reference. So for the cognoscenti out there, understand it. Okay, Two Trees, let's discuss and begin with this wonderful realm that you and I were discussing before we decided to go live and share with other people around the world. And we do have a listening audience, almost every country in the world. Let's talk about the F word. Now, the F word, when people hear that, who knows what they think of? I'm talking about the 4-letter F word and then a 7-letter F word. Well, the 4-letter F word is free. And the 7-letter F word is freedom. It's not the other F word that you were thinking about. Let's begin with freedom. Two Trees. Can you talk to us about freedom?
Freedom is ultimately not having to answer to anyone else except yourself. That is my definition of freedom. And I love the way you couch it. FUNN, fun. Because ultimately, you're going to reach that point in your life at some point. Hopefully, you will. I have, where you can say FUNN, which you know you can draw anything you want to from that anachronism. But when you're able to sit back and control your own destiny, and you know it's completely upon you and no one else, and then you have opportunities that come your way and you're able to capitalize on those, then you will be truly free and you will have FUNN, because fun is what it's all about. Health, wealth, freedom, and having fun. That's what it's all about. That's what life should be about. It shouldn't be about all of the crazy things we hear in the news and all the negative stuff. Don't worry about all that crap. It's here every day. It's like an old soap opera TV show. You can walk by and look at the screen once a week and know what's going on. So don't waste your time involving yourself and spending all your time and energy and giving all of your precious time to those things, because it's not worth it. I've done an analysis on it. And for all of the time that I've spent investing myself and my time in learning about this and learning about that, the who's on the left and who's on the right, it does not matter. The return on investment is zero. So
Woo! Let's
don't waste your time, because the return on investment is zero. And if you do the analysis, it's the same for you too.
so let's unpack a few things here, B. And I want to emphasize something you mentioned again, another wonderful four-letter word. Time. Time is a great acronym that stands for thinking it's miraculous every day. See, when you shift your perspective of life into what Two Trees is talking about, freedom, the ability for you to decide what you want to do with your time and to use it wisely. Why invest it in something that has a guaranteed return on investment of zero? That's what we call dumb, another four-letter word. We don't want dumb, we want smart, we want capable. The ability to be freedom is to understand that having something called the JOB is one of the surest ways to avoid having freedom. And David, Two Trees, you taught me a great acronym for the word job. What is that acronym?
Well, we always call it just over broke, because that's ultimately when you have a job, you're seeking to have enough money to pay your bills. And you want to have a job that's going to allow you to have just a little bit more. So you're just over broke. And most people are quite happy with that. And the next year they give you a little bit more, and that keeps you just over broke so that you're keeping pace with inflation, but you're really not. And what is inflation? Well, inflation is the increase of the money supply. It's not the price of goods. The price and goods of services, that is a result of inflation. Actual inflation is increasing the money supply. So if you were sitting down at the table playing Monopoly with your friends and you just kept bringing more money out from under the table, that's inflating the money supply. You're changing the game. So you got to understand that this game is the game that we're living in today. So learn to live with it. And if you're just over broke, you're constantly seeking, constantly striving to have just a little bit more so that you can take your wife out to dinner or buy your kids a gift or something like that. But the game is rigged because they're bringing more money into the marketplace every day, which causes that money to be worth less.
So let's put the two words together instead of worth less. Really, money, unless you are consciously, creatively beating the inflation, that means your money is worthless. And you, Two Trees, you found a path that enables you to go into this wonderful, large, moving river of money, inexhaustible almost, with a cup and a bucket, and avail yourself of the opportunity of having as much as you want. Is that true?
That is true. It is 100% true. And, you can take it from the professor at SMU University, the Cox School of Business. And I knew Edwin L. Cox. And that professor said very simply, the reason you want to have this education is so that you can learn how to spot the rivers of money that flow. And you want to be able to have enough experience and whatever so that you can go down there and put your cup or your bucket into that flowing river of money every day and take out just a little bit for yourself. And that's what we're all doing at some point of the spectrum, whether it's just a job working every day or whether you've managed to find that river of money and learn enough to be able to go down there and put your cup in that river and take a little extra out, take some for you so that over and above your job, you've got this money coming out of that river. You've made a path You've created a path to that river. You know the trail. You know exactly how to go down to that trail every single day and put your cup or your bucket in that river and pull some out. And when you've mastered that skill that allows you to go down there, you've learned how to use the compass and the flashlight or whatever to get to that river. Now it becomes second nature. And that's what I've learned how to do.
So let's unpack again. We have, thank God, a worldwide audience. And I've made mention a number of times, everybody wants to live in America. However, not everybody needs to physically be here. What you want is what we call the American mindset. And the American mindset, in my humble opinion, not even humble, in my opinion, is rooted in the O word, opportunity, the S word, skill, the M word, mastery, and the C word, control. When I talk about control, I'm talking about control of oneself. Would you agree to that?
It's absolutely imperative. If you're not able to master yourself, you're never going to be able to master a skill that will allow you to reach that point in your life that you're not beholding to someone else. So, yes, control is everything, and control of yourself is first. So, and you learn that, and you learn it through trial and error. And everybody learns skills throughout their entire life. You learn it by trial and error. And mastering a skill set is something you do every day, and you hone those skills every day. Nobody goes to the gun range to practice their shooting because they're perfect. They go to hone their skills so that whenever they do take a shot, it's the best shot. And so you constantly hone your skills. And that's what life is all about, is
I
honing your
give
skills.
the analogy of driving a car.
Yeah, everybody remembers their first car. Everybody. The first time you got into a vehicle and you started it up and you put it in.
Oh, we love technology when it works. So two trees.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
back again. Okay.
I'm
So we
sorry. There was a call that came in. Um, so when you got that first car, what was the first thing you thought about? The only thing you were thinking about was the freedom that that car was going to give you so that you could go somewhere on your own, anywhere you wanted to go. But you had to learn you mastered the skill of driving if you're still alive, because if you did not master it, well, the consequences are dire. So ultimately, when you drive a vehicle, at any given second, you could be gone because it only takes 1 second and then
Okay,
you're gone.
let's pause here. We're honored to have sponsors that love our show, and we wouldn't have them on if we didn't think they're worthy of your time and attention. We vetted them. We'll be right back with Two Trees after this brief message. You don't want to go away because their consequences will be dire if you don't listen. Be right back. Opportunity. What an opportunity. I'm going to use two four-letter words right now. Free gift. Free gift. Yes, you can have a copy of my best-selling book, The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy, the ebook version for absolutely free. All you have to do is send an email to me, Barry, Barry, at barryshore.com, and in the heading, the subject line, just write free gift. It's as easy as that. This is a life-changing, life-enhancing opportunity. Barry at barryshore.com. You'll be glad you did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Free gift. Do it now. Take the action. Make it happen right now. Best wishes. Bye. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. You're good-looking. It's always looking for and finding the good. We found good in abundance. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Two Trees. That's a biblical reference. And we're talking about the ability to have freedom, which came about the first time you learned how to drive an automobile. Because you knew, again, this is the American mindset, that when you have an automobile, and this is certainly more America than anywhere else, you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. All you need is petrol. Okay, you need to fill up your tank, or electricity these days. There you have, and just have a certain, how should we call it, guardrail, in the sense that you can only go a certain amount, but then you'll fill up again. And by the way, that's another great analogy of what you're talking about, Two Trees, or dipping your cup or your bucket. As long as you recognize mentally, you understand, I can get to another gas station, I can fill up more. It's a skill that I mastered, which is called opening my eyes and looking for a pump or a plug for the electricity. Well, now you say we can do the same thing with a skill, and in the world of what other people call the market. Now you want to talk about the S&P 500, is that correct?
Yes, and so to cap off the skill, and the most important thing you need to learn is that you can master a new skill. And if you do an analysis of your life, you'll see that you've mastered many skills, not just driving or riding a bicycle or whatever. You've mastered a number of skills that take you through your life, and you do things that you don't even think about today. But when you first did it, you had to master that skill. And that's what we're talking about today is stock market ping pong, which that is something that Doc created. And he did that after many years and many millions of dollars of work, of investment and time. And he created a protocol that will allow you, if you'll master the skill, then it's a new skill that you'll learn. And that new skill will allow you the opportunity to take your cup and put it into a large river that flows every single day. And I mastered that skill. I understand how it works. And I still practice every day. I spend 30 minutes to sometimes 2 hours going back and honing that skill, because when I take a shot, I want it to be a bullseye. And
Okay,
I
I
know
want to unpack for a moment something here. Those of you who are listening, I think you heard a little lilt in the voice. Those of you who are watching saw his eyes brighten and open as he talked about mastering this skill of being able to put his cup or bucket into the market ping pong program. By the way, everything's in the show notes. You don't have to worry about writing anything down. It's all there in the show notes. And you watch Two Trees' expression change because he was internalizing and sharing with you what happens when you can taste freedom. You don't have to be just above broke. You have as much opportunity as any other human being on the planet. It's a gift from the good Lord. It's a matter of plugging in, it's a matter of listening, of being able to recognize that you're never limited. Am I right on that, Two Trees? You're not limited.
there is no limit to what you can do. And so I took the opportunity that Doc presented, and I've spent over a year and a half honing my skills. But at that point, when you hone your skill and you are able to walk away from the day with an extra 500 or 1,000 or $1,800, your entire life will change, because now you know that things are going to go a different way for you because you're the master of your destiny. You're not relying on anyone else. When you reach that moment, everything in your life changes. And by, people talk about what is stock market ping pong. Well, it's very simple. You learn the protocols, you do a no risk. It's like a driver's training, but you're not out on the road. You're able to do this with zero money. You participate, you paper trade until you have honed your skills. And then when you're ready to take the shot. You put live rounds in your gun. You put real ammunition in there with a few dollars. Some people start with $100. Some people start with 1,000. Some people start with 5,000. It just depends on your circumstance. And you can take that, you can grow that once you've honed your skills into that point where you have now mastered the skill and you do not have to rely on anyone because you do the same thing over and over every day and it compounds. And so when you compound your success, in other words, add another zero, then you're not just making an extra $100 a day, you're making an extra $1,000 a day. And then you add another zero and you're making an extra $10,000 a day. So once you've reached that point, which sounds somewhat extraordinary, which is really not, but once you reach that point, now you're the master of your life. You're not beholding to anyone, not your boss, not the company, nobody. It's you, and you can do it from your telephone because I do.
Okay, I want to just pause for a moment because um, we're blessed to have over more than 500,000 people around the world listening to this. And as I urge everybody, share this with at least 5 people. You want to share with 50 or 100 because you feel you want to be a benefactor to people, that's great. At least 5 people. Let's touch 2.5 million people with what Two Trees is sharing with us. Again, everything's in the show notes, so don't have to write anything down. I urge you, listen again, and then a third time, because if you, those of you who are listening to the second time, you've already separated yourselves and made you into a unique being. The people who will do this and listen 3 times, you have raised your hand, stood up, paid attention, saluted, and said, I'm in. And when it means you're in, it means you are the person you dream about. Am I right, Two Trees? When you start dreaming
Yes,
about it, and like you said, practice, hone your skills, gain awareness of the moment, take the shot, it will work. By definition, by the way, it is a law of the universe. Am I correct on that?
you're 100% correct. When you set your sights on something, you are literally changing the world around you. If you talk to a particle physicist, they'll tell you everything is in the field. All you have to do is have the thought and take the action. If you don't take the action to learn and to progress, then it will never happen. You can't think it, but you have to first think about it and then take the action. Action is everything. And a particle physicist will tell you when you move in a specific direction, then this world, this environment, this place we are, it will conform to your movement.
Again, I urge everybody. The reason we do the podcast is to bring you not just information that's readily available out there. Matter of fact, too much sometimes, overload. This is not just for inspiration, which it is. This is wonderful. Everybody listens, loves listening to Barry Shore and his guests. Well, the guest today is superconductivity. This is about the T word, Two Trees in this case, T word, transformation. We're talking about transforming your life. It's in your hands. Those are the people who will listen to this again because it's recorded, second time. The people who listen 3 times, I guarantee, or your money back, you will make an additional at least $10,000 in the first year of your work in the program. Guaranteed. Come back to me. Guaranteed, they'll be your money back. By the second year, then you decide how much you want to make. By the third year, you're already a freedom loving individual who understands that you're on the map, you're on the road, you're the map maker. Is that fair to say, Two Trees?
It is. And I'm an old dog. So it
Wait
didn't ha-
a minute.
it did not it did not happen overnight. I had after I saw what it was, and then I learned more about it, and then I continued to practice, then I had to overcome my own shortcomings. You know, we all have these little things that get into your head, and you think you're smarter than the protocol, but you're not. If you follow Doc's protocols and you hone your skills and you do it on paper, in other words, no money, no investment, just paper. And once you've honed your skills on paper for 30 days in a row, you're ready. And you can, and now you're managing your own risk. What is your risk tolerance? And you know, we call it free money. The money's there. It happens every single day, and you take the shot and you run. Is every shot going to be there good? No, of course not. There are circumstances where you're not going to win 100% of the time. But if you win 70 or 80 or 90% of the time, you're going to be a winner.
Do you hear that, everybody? I'm gonna throw in here some levity because I think it's really appropriate right now. I was taught by a dear friend of mine who played football for Ohio State. So again, people around the world listening, you have no idea what Ohio State football means. However, take it from me and maybe from Two Trees. Ohio State football means a lot to people at Ohio State. It's one of the most important schools of football. And his coach, who's a legendary coach, taught his players the following. It's called yaw. YAW, YAW. You are who you associate with. You are now associating with winners. Did you hear that? Winners. Winners think. Winners ponder. Follow the protocols. Follow the plays. Make the determination. Take action. Take the shot. And when you're a winner and you win 70, 80, 90% of the time, hello, your mind has reshaped. Not your, yeah. Not your voice, because your voice might get softer, actually. Your mind is now freedom. Fair to say?
So what's the action that you take? You say, I do want freedom. Okay. Press your finger on the click. Look at the website, Stock Market Ping Pong. Listen to the video, follow, and see what it does, because it will give you the opportunity that you're looking for if you take the action. But if you don't take the action, it'll never happen. Nobody's going to deliver a pre-packaged everything into your lap. You have to take the action. It's just a little bit of time. And you know, you're sitting there with your phone in your hand every single day. Take a little time, learn a new skill, improve your life, have the freedom that you want. That's what it offers.
And that is Eye on Las Vegas, the energy. Okay, Two Trees, we're coming to a close of our time together. I'm sorry to say it like that. I have 3 quick questions for you. Are you ready? Oh, something happened. He had a little blip in his connection here. Two Trees, we will wait for him to come back for a moment. I want everybody to understand that this is one of the most important podcasts you've ever experienced in your life. So use it to your advantage. Everything is in the show notes. Again, I urge you to share it with 5 people. You want to share it with 50 or 100, that's great. Make sure you share it. That's really the key. So on behalf of Two Trees and myself, we're going to offer a blessing. Go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Two Trees, quick questions before you go. You ready?
Yes,
Will you come back again?
absolutely.
Number 2, you have 80 seconds only to answer this. What is your most fervent desire? 80 seconds.
My most fervent desire is to continue to hone my skills and share those skills with other people so that they can have the freedom that I have. That's really what it all boils down to.
Share, spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. and you're ready for a hug in front of 521,917 people around the world,
I'll take it.
let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. 1, 2, 3. Roar!
Thank
And
you.
Las Vegas, everybody, share it with 5 people. Listen the second time and the third time. You listen third time, you're the winner. I guarantee you. Minimum $10,000 in the first year. Go forth, live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. 2 trees, don't go away.